What is up everyone, it's CMG here. So we have just received some of the most nuttiest patch notes for Overwatch to date. Now, these patch notes came out yesterday evening and they're now currently live in the experimental card. So yeah, I'm a little bit late to the party with this by about a day. I kind of wanted to play a few games first before I dived into trying to make a video about this. Also, I'm only going to talk about a handful of heroes here, not the whole bunch. Otherwise, well, we'll be here for quite some time. If you want a full in-depth analysis on all heroes within these patch notes, I cannot recommend Stylosa enough. He's got a really good video talking about all of the heroes and their changes within these patch notes. So if you want a really in-depth analysis, go and check out Stylosa's video. It's a really, really good one. Right, so before we go ahead and talk about these changes, if you want to see more videos like this in the future, then go ahead and click on the subscribe button. Send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications. It really does help me out a great deal. Alright then, so let's get on with talking about these changes. As far as I'm concerned, I just want to have a look at this because these are some of the most nuttiest changes I've seen in a set of patch notes. Now, this is not actually coming from the dev team, funnily enough. This is actually coming from a bunch of content creators. So anybody that's made content on YouTube, Twitch, or whatever, the changes are coming from them, not the devs. So there's 3 guys in particular that have actually made changes to these heroes. Now, obviously, there are 3 people mentioned here. Each of these guys have focused on a specific role. So we've got Violet for the support heroes. We've got Flats, who is covering the tank section. Now, Flats is, I believe, a content creator for the Florida Mayhem in the Overwatch League. And he's also responsible for creating all of those spectator videos. You know, the ones where they mention things like, I saw a Junkrat bronze player and he missed every shot kind of videos. I've actually done a few of them myself. So if you want to go and check those videos out, to remind yourself, at least, you've got that to check out. Somju, I think I'm pronouncing that name right. Somju also did the DPS heroes. So yeah, I would like to let you guys know on some of these changes. I have actually been playing a lot of the experimental card to check out some of the heroes that I play the most. Most notably D.Va, because I'm a D.Va main. And there's also guys like Orisa, Reinhardt that we want to sort of like look at. And Sigma. Sigma has got some of the strangest changes in this set of patch notes, but we'll go through that. I think I'm going to focus on D.Va first. I guess they will tackle Sigma and then maybe Roadhog and Zarya, and that'll be it, I would have thought. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to cover everything. I mean, most of this video is going to be covering the tanks, so I guess we can just go straight to it then. So let's just focus on D.Va to start off with. Now, D.Va, I've been playing with D.Va the most in the experimental card. And she plays completely different to the live version. The one thing that really does strike me is the fact that her quick melee damage when she's out of mech has now increased from 30 to 100. Basically, they just turned D.Va into Tyson Fury whenever she comes out of her mech. I mean, let's just talk about this specific change for a moment because, like, does she need this change? Now, obviously, when you look at these changes, they're obviously ones that, you know, aren't going to be going to the live server anytime soon. So you don't expect these changes to go live or anything like that. But the fact that, like, I guess you could, like, use this as a way of, like, a defense mechanism. Because when D.Va's out of her mech, she's next to useless. So if you've got D.Va out of her mech and she's got absolutely no defense whatsoever, I mean, she's got a bunny blaster that does quite a bit of damage, but if anybody comes anywhere near her, she can't do anything. Once the rest of your team is gone, like completely been wiped out, and you're the only one left, then obviously you're not going to be killed before them because, well, the whole idea of the attacking team is to cause stagger. So when the rest of your team spawn, they've got to wait for you to come back, which takes a lot of time. Yeah, I mean... It's kind of strange. I mean, you kind of like need that bit of defense. So when D.Va slaps you in the face, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of HP as opposed to 30. So that's absolutely crazy stuff. All right, so let's move on. So her defense matrix, the size has increased by 10%. I didn't really notice this during the game. However, I mean, Defense Matrix is the most important part of her kit. Defense Matrix is used to suck up all of the damage. So if you've got like maybe a 10% space on your Defense Matrix, I guess you're going to be able to take in a lot more damage. You're going to do a lot better peeling, I would say. So if you've got like a Zenyatta in the back line, you're going to find it a lot easier to peel for him. Or if somebody else is diving onto your DPS or whatever, you're going to have a lot easier time of it to peel them because you've got more of space to bring out that Defense Matrix. You know what I mean? So that was actually really cool. The boosters, though, I think is a little bit too much. I mean, the duration has increased from 2 seconds to 4 seconds. I mean, the only reason why I say this is because, I mean, yeah, sure, I mean, boosters will allow you to maneuver a lot quicker around the map because, as you can see there as well, speed is now increased by 25%, so you're going to be able to go around the map a lot quicker and faster. But when you think about it, when you die, I mean, the worst thing you can do in Overwatch is die, right? So when you die, and then you respawn in the closest spawn room, with 4 seconds and a much quicker time, you're going to be able to get into the fight a lot quicker. So it's going to be even difficult to get rid of you, even when the attacking team is trying to push the payload. I mean, let's say you're defending. It's going to be a lot difficult for the enemy team to try and get rid of you, because every time you die, yeah, it's... yeah. But I mean, it's really cool though. I mean, I'm not complaining about these big changes. Now, the eject part of it is probably the most interesting part of the kit, because I honestly believe that she would benefit from this in the real game. So let's just read this. So ejecting out of the mech now ejects you at 15 meters per second up and 10 meters per second in the direction you're holding. Now, the reason why I think this is a really interesting change compared to everything else is because I think, let's think about this for a second. When I'm playing D.Va and I get demech'd, what tends to happen is I just jump out of my mech. Everybody can see that I've jumped out of my mech, and then they just instantly pounce on me and kill me. Now, yes, I did say before that this is kind of useless because, well, technically you want to die quickly. But let's say, for example, the rest of your team haven't died yet, and they're still in the fight and they're still trying to capture a point or something. So they're on the point, and you want to sort of like back away to try and pump out as much damage as you can in that scrap to try and get your mech back. The way, because I've been playing the experimental card, so the easiest way to come out of your mech when you get demech'd is jump and then try and direct yourself where you want to sort of position yourself when you come out. It's kind of an easier way for D.Va to get away from groups that will otherwise end up killing you anyway, if that makes any sense. So compared to what we have right now, when D.Va gets demech'd and then jumps into the place where the mech has been, well, the mech has exploded, and then yeah, you just get deleted straight away. So, you know, when you get dove upon, what's the point in even having Baby D.Va in the first place? Baby D.Va is useless. So, you know, it makes sense when you've got this idea of when you come out of your mech, you jump backwards to try and alleviate yourself or sort of like move away from massive groups so that you don't get killed straight away. You've got some kind of defense mechanism and try and pump some damage out from the back. Yeah, I would like to see this in the game, actually. But yeah, let's see if that does anything. So overall, I think the eject is probably the most sensible thing that I would actually see in game. You know, defense matrix, the size increased by 10% is a little bit ambitious. The duration from 2 to 4 seconds is a little bit too much, even though it's kind of like really nice to be able to die and then go straight back into a fight. And then, well, D.Va's melee increased from 30 to 100 when she's out of mech. Again, it goes back to the whole thing about the eject. You kind of like need some kind of defense to be able to protect yourself if you're in a bit of a problem. So yeah, you're probably going to die, whatever, but you kind of like need that element of surprise. They don't even expect you to kill them in that sense. Anyway, let's move on to another hero. So I'm going to move on to Sigma, because Sigma has arguably some of the most funniest changes ever. So his experimental barrier has now been disabled. You cannot use his barrier. So Sigma, well, his barrier is kind of like part of his kit. Sigma does absolutely everything. So he throws rocks, he has a barrier up, and he sucks up damage. He is pretty much the full kit as far as a tank is concerned. So I guess it would be ideal to give him a massive nerf and not allow you to use his barrier. So that's out of the question. Accretion, the impact damage has been increased from 30 to 40. Explosion damage has been increased from 40 to 50. Now susceptible to reflect and deflect abilities. Right, so I don't know if that makes any sense. So apparently Accretion now gets sucked up by defense matrix? I don't know. I haven't played Sigma. I've only played D.Va in the experimental card. But that'll have to do. That'll be quite interesting to see that in action. But the most really strangest thing about this Accretion is that every time he uses Accretion, he says his yes voice line. So he just goes either yes or certainly then. Every time he throws out Accretion. That's hilarious. Kinetic Grasp. The cooldown has been reduced from 12 to 8 seconds. And his movement speed is gone up by 100%. What? Okay. That's actually crazy. So every time you use your Kinetic Grasp, you're moving really, really quickly. Oh dear. I can't wait to try Sigma out. Oh god, that's going to be really interesting to see that. Alright, so Sigma's... I would say... Yeah, don't disable Experimental Barrier. That's part of his kit. I mean, I guess it stops people from using double shield compositions, right? So if you're playing Orisa and Sigma, you won't be able to do that anymore because, well, you can't use double shield because, well, Sigma can't use his barrier. Yeah, but you know, where he lacks with his barrier, he makes up for it with his health because that's now increased by 100. Oh wait, yeah, by 100. Kind of cool those changes for Sigma. Let's move to Orisa now, because Orisa has got a really, really, really important change, which we need to talk about. And it kind of coincides with the new Winter Wonderland event, which will be coming very, very shortly. And I'm hoping that that comes in time. So Orisa's health has changed from 200 to 250. Health reduced from 600 to 300. Okay, so they really are nerfing double shield down to the ground then. Cooldown has been reduced from 10 to 8 seconds. Fusion driver is no longer slowed while firing. Okay. Alright, so duration is increased from 4 to 6 seconds. Can now be headshot while using Fortify. Oh! That's a huge nerf then. So even though you're in your fortification, you can still get shot by a Widowmaker. If they're accurate enough. I mean, Orisa's got a huge hitbox. So, yeah, if Widowmaker is on the high ground and she snipes you, yeah, you're dead even though you use the Fortify. That's a huge nerf. And then the Hawk cooldown has been reduced from 6 to 4 seconds, so you're going to use that frequently. But the most important change that we have to see here, and like I said, I really hope they do this for every hero in Winter Wonderland, is that she now wears a Christmas hat. So if they're able to add a Christmas hat to Orisa, then maybe, just maybe, we might see Christmas hats being worn by every hero in the Winter Wonderland update. There are no excuses, Blizzard. Please make this happen. I want to see every hero in the game in the Winter Wonderland event 2021 wear Christmas hats. Please, Blizzard, make this a reality. I mean, there will be some skins where, you know, May, the Merry skin for May, probably wouldn't need one, but because she's already wearing a Christmas hat, you know. But yeah, every hero in the game needs to wear a Christmas hat. So yeah, bit of a small little teaser change in that. Let's look for one more character that we can talk about. Zarya. Right, so Zarya, here we go. Now, let's have a look at these. Like I said, I haven't tried Zarya. I've only played D.Va so far. You might even see some gameplay that I kind of like played Zarya post-recording this voiceover. So yeah, you might see a bit of Zarya in the video. But yeah, let's talk about Zarya. So Particle Cannon, Primary Fire. The minimum damage has been increased from 75 to 85. Particle Cannon, Secondary Fire, Alt Fire explosions no longer hurt yourself. So she cannot be damaged when she uses Particle Cannon on herself. Kind of makes sense, right? Because you don't want to be making damage to your own self. So that is actually a really interesting change, that. I hope that gets added to the main game, actually. Alt Fire knockback is increased by 150. Okay, so that's really interesting. Particle Barrier. The size has been increased by 50%. So, yeah, this is going to be a massive, huge ball around your heroes. It's an even bigger hitbox, which means Zarya is going to get more damage. Well, she's going to get more energy for a gun. most likely, because, you know, the bigger size the hitbox is on the particle barrier, the more energy she's going to get for a gun, which means you're going to do more damage. Wow. And also the health has been increased as well by 200 to 250, which means there's going to be a lot more strength to it. So that's both the particle barrier and the projected barrier. I'm actually quite amazed that they didn't do anything to a graviton surge. Well, anyway, so yeah, there you go, guys. Those are some of the most ridiculous changes being added to the content creator special patch notes that's been added to the game. You can check these out right now on the experimental card in Overwatch. All you got to do is load up Overwatch, you see the experimental card, and you can check out these new patch notes. They're not in the game, obviously, but this is why we got experimental card. I will provide a link for these patch notes in the description down below, so you can go and check out all of these funny things. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to talk about every single hero because we'll be here all day, but I just wanted to sort of like talk about a handful of tank heroes because I'm a tank main, so it would make sense to me that I talk about the tank heroes. But yeah, go and check these patch notes out. They are absolutely ridiculous, and yeah, I'll be interested to see what you guys think about all of these. So yes, thank you very much for watching this very unscripted video. I know there's been some ums and ahs in this video here and there, but I kind of like I'm kind of like making this video at the last second because I don't really have that much time on my hands at the minute because I got football to watch later on, so I got to make this really quickly. So I'll see if I can try and do an insight video on these changes for D.Va, not for every hero, but just D.Va. And I'll give you like an insight of how I feel about these changes in a bit more depth and what kind of changes I would like to see in the game. I mean, yes, some of these changes are really funny changes, but there are a little bit of things that you can take out from this that makes me think to myself, maybe some of these are for the better, to make a certain hero better in how they play in the game. So yes, thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I hope you got something out of it. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, then go ahead and click on the subscribe button, send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications. It really does help me out a great deal. Also, check me out on all of my social medias. My Twitter account and my Discord server are all in the description box down below if you want to go ahead and follow me on those platforms. Thank you very much for stopping by, chaps. Have a great day. Have a great life. Be nice to your fellow gamers because we are all human beings. I've been CMG, and until the next video, I shall see you later. Peace.